Nah, nah. I told you so, told you so, told you so, told you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. We've got the Raven's Claw released here, guys, and it's a big chance for me to be able to say "I told you so" because I don't get many of those. No, I think my predictions are usually there's usually a little bit of rationality to them at the very least. I mean, I think my analysis is fine, but it is fun. I mean, it's all guesswork. But if you guys remember a little bit ago, I posted a video about unlock prep for the profundity, and it was basically saying like, here's some things you might want to look at in order to be ready for the profundity's eventual release, all based on the fact that Admiral Radis, Adrad, had been released. And, I mean, that's the biggest spoiler right there. You can't get any more on the nose. Like, why release that guy, of all of them? And why is he wearing blue jeans? I'm not sure. But, one way or another, I did predict that the Moldy Crow, which is Kyle Katarn's other ship, apparently has two. The one that I remember, the games that I played with him, he piloted the Moldy Crow. This one, so it's a different name, but I still did. On the bottom right corner, well, the bottom right entry, Moldy Crow, also known as Kyle Katarn's ship. I made this as an infographic, if you guys remember, and so I did predict it. I predicted it. They chose to go with a different ship, but at the end of the day, haha, I was right, and you were probably just didn't care that much, but. Anyways, let's look at some of this stuff here, guys. I don't want to spend too long on this reaction video. It's cool though. It's nice that they're doing this. Honestly, I'm very interested in this. So one thing I'm going to point out right away, guys, is the fact that it says Bounty Hunter on this on the Dev Insight thing. It's like someone wrote Bounty Hunter, and it's like they put it in blue because they wanted to ask someone. Have you ever done that? You're like you write up a paper, but you're not sure about something you're going to ask them, so you just like write it in a different font or highlight it or something. They're like, hey, was Ravensclaw supposed to be Bounty Hunter? But either way, it made it onto their final little clip here, so that's kind of, it's whatever, because later it says Ravensclaw, Light, support Jedi and Rebel, and I don't see any reference to I don't see any reference to it. So to Bounty Hunter, which is good because you don't want to mess with the Executor ecosystem. It's already messed up enough. So I'll just start by saying this because yeah, you'll see as we go along. Their intent here is for this to get swapped out for the Millennium Falcon in the Home One fleet. That's what it is. The two are mutually exclusive. We're not going to see both of them in the same fleet, except for maybe a small amount of time after this is released, because Home One and Home One and Adrad's ship, the Profundity, are going to have different fleets, and Falcon is going to be on the Adrad fleet. That's the intent. You'll be able to see, like, it's very logical. Like, they're super on the nose here. Okay, so basic force guided laser cannons. I mean, cool. I don't know. Okay, so if Ravensclaw had foresight at the start of the turn, attack a second time, and dispel all buffs on the target enemy. I don't know how you plan around this, though. That seems kind of cool at the start. It's like, okay, it's a basic that dispels, but how many things actually get dispelled just for using a dispel on them? Like, some of them, but a lot of them are like, hey, target lock is here, because Vader's over, just chilling over in the corner like an a-hole, and I can't get this target lock off. Like, if you're the TIE Bomber, you're just apologizing. You're like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm trying to not taunt, but I just have to, because that a-hole over there, my boss, says I can't stop taunting. Same thing with like Sunfax, same thing with, that there's foresight on all of the different resistance ships. There's a ton of stuff that it just like auto refreshes. The taunt on Houndstooth with Breach, like there's a ton of stuff, and you're suddenly losing all of your ability to dispel things on the Falcon. I mean, that's not completely true. Like, Cassian still can dispel things, Home One can dispel, but otherwise, I mean, with the Falcon gone, you're going to be debuffed a whole lot, and Whatever. This foresight. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't think you're not gonna be able to plan around foresight, in my opinion. That's even though that's what they seem to want, it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. Okay, so the next special, Out of the Sun. And remember, these are all. They didn't know what the attacks look like from this, so they just got to make it up. This is their imagination, guys, at work. Which it actually doesn't look bad. It's an AoE. And it removes turn meter. And if home one is the allied capital ship, that's the thing. The two pervasive things here is home one has to be its capital ship. There's not really much other option because all the abilities point toward it. At least that's their intent. Now we can always go against their intent. We'll have to see if that's actually worthwhile though. And then the other part is, if you look down a little later, non-scoundrel rebel allies. They don't play nice with scoundrels, apparently. But moving back up to this for just 1 second, it removes 50% turn meter. Or if home one is if you're a good boy and put home one as the capital ship here, then instead remove 100% turn meter and inflict daze and target lock for 2 turns to the turn. So that's great. The other, I hope they put any potency on this at all, because the Rebel Y-Wing is so stupid right now because it doesn't inflict its debuff because it has no potency, so everyone in the world resists it, and it's just the dumbest thing, guys. So let's hope that the crow or the claw or whatever, what is it, Raven's claw, sounds like a hygiene issue. It's like, oh yeah, Raven, he's got claws, like he needs to cut those things. Anyways, unique battle flow manipulation. So if you're a good boy and each other active non-routes. So if your allies are non-scoundrels, which the Falcon is obviously a scoundrel, Raven's Claw gains 40% max health for each of them. If you're a good boy, then that's what you get. Its attacks can't be evaded. That's just period. Like that's start and end. It can't. So it will actually always shoot and hit, even through foresight. I guess I didn't even notice that before. That's kind of cool. Okay, if you're a good boy and don't have the Falcon with you, then I guess even if the Falcon is there, then the non-Falcon ships will gain 10% offense. If you're a good boy and take home one as the capital ship, then you get all of these other cool things. You get defense up, your opponents get defense down, and if you're a good boy and don't bring the Falcon, then everyone's gaining 30% offense instead of 10% if you're a good boy. Unique to Guiding Foresight. There's a whole thing about foresights. You can ignore taunt. It's kind of cool. You can read it. If there's foresight, plus 50 speed, target lock, offense up. There's all this cool stuff. But, that's only if you're a good boy and take home one as a capital ship. You get all that stuff. And if you want to read in the same sentence, whenever an allied, let's just say, whenever an allied non-Falcon ship assists another non-Falcon ship, another ship that is not the Falcon, it gains 2 foresight for 2 turns. Allied ships that are not the Falcon can ignore taunt. I mean, it's very on the nose, guys. You can't go with the Falcon. You're not allowed, but you have to go on home one. If you have to be on home one, but the Falcon can't be with you, then the Falcon has to go somewhere else. Where's it going to go? It's going to go on the profundity. That's what they say on the bottom here. Why all the specific callouts to home one? There isn't another Rebel capital ship. What a profound question. Look at that. It's profound. Profundity. People are losing their minds over this. They're like, well, why do they say that? That's really on the nose. Like, I've seen people who are angry about this, about that. They're like, man, why don't they just tell us? And it's like, they did when they announced Radis. I don't know. There's so much rage over this, like annoyance, and I'm like, why be mad about a hint? Like, and this is the most obvious hint ever. So, I don't know. I just find it amusing. I don't. If I'm being insulted, I don't mean to be insulting, guys. Maybe there's a good reason for it. But, okay, last quick hitters here. So Kyle Katarn had 2 ships across his appearances. Moldy Crow was his original ship. Kyle Katarn, that we have in the game, actually piloted the Raven's Claw, so that's what we went with. So they went with Raven's Claw. Remember, I said the Moldy Crow, if you remember. As you see, Moldy Crow, bottom right. But otherwise, yeah, they saved my ego here, which I appreciate. Good job, CG. Well played. And we're gonna get a new Rebel fleet, and it's not gonna be good, folks. It's not gonna be good, really. I don't. Maybe it'll be OP. Maybe it's not gonna be an Executor, though. I don't know. Like, the very limited ability to be able to target outside of taunt. I don't know, like, there's not going to be the crazy assists that the Falcon was providing. There's not going to be all the debuff, a cleansing awesomeness that the Falcon had. Like, I don't see this fleet being amazing. Now, one thing I will point out, though, guys, is this might end up being the best fleet. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it won't be, but this opens the door because Red 5, if they release it, with Farm Boy Luke as the pilot and all that, if they release it as the next Conquest character, which I'm a little bit, tiny bit predicting, if that happens, he's not a scoundrel. He could go with Home 1, and if he's like, hey, you always get Foresight all the time, every time, like, that could end up making Home 1 the best fleet. I don't know, or at least one of the best fleets. So there's some interesting potential here if Red 5 is here, because Red 5 probably doesn't go with the Falcon. Red 5 probably, because last time Red 5 went with the Profundity, we all know what happened if you've seen the end of toward the end of Red 5 of Rogue One. Blah. Also the end of Red 5, conveniently. But one way or another, guys, let me know what you think. I'll turn it over to you. What are your thoughts? This ship looks okay. I feel like we need Red 5 to go with it for the ship to be fleet to be worth a damn, but we are going to get the Profundity. In my opinion, the biggest question remaining is, well, if Red 5 is here, that's the game changer, but the other one is, where will Cassian's ship go? Because that ship is maybe the best ship in the whole game, or at least as reinforcements. It is ridiculous. And I feel like there's a good argument for it to be going with either Home 1, because it's one of the only cleanses you have, or maybe it'll go with the Falcon, because those two fit together like peas and carrots. Guys, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.